Yang berbahagia Datuk Johan Raslan, Executive Chairman of Pricewaterhouse Malaysia. Yang berbahagia Datuk Sharon Mokzani, Deputy CEO CIMB. Tuku Zafro Tuku Aziz, Group Director KN Kenanga Holdings Berhad. Encik Reza Razali, Managing Director of Conferry Malaysia. Encik Wan Firdaus, Chairman Young Corporate Malaysians. Ladies and gentlemen, first I would like to thank the organisers for inviting me. For record, it's probably my 5th speech I ever made in my life. Speaking to your own staff is not speech. They have to listen to you, they have to clap, they have to laugh at your jokes. Before, I used to be among you, listening to the guys up here. But now, I have to be up here. That shows how old I am. Okay, let's go to the start for a few minutes. As you can see, the growth in the early 90s, late 80s and early 90s were very good. 8% to some calculation and 10% to others. But this does not come on its own. It doesn't come overnight. We had the new economic policy in the 70s and 80s. We had NDPs in the 90s. And also we have, on top of that, we had a privatization policy. We started in 1983. And before that, we have a diversification policy where we move from bringing rubber and tin in the country into more manufactured goods. Okay. Now privatization. It started about 1983-84. Okay. It started 1993-84 with the Shapadu Highway. Now, as of 1990, there were about 36 or 37 privatized companies. But in 3 years after, there were 77. But in the year 2000, there were 90 projects, 51 new ones, and 47 existing ones. And almost 203 companies were privatized. This is a lead up to the stock market. Okay, next slide. As you can see from here, the country, we had a good planning, thanks to our forefathers, thanks to our old leaders. In 1975, agriculture was 29% of the country, GDP. In year 2000, only about 8.6. But manufacturing from 40%, it moved to 30.9%. So the country shifted from being agriculture, mainly tin, rubber and cocoa, into more manufacturing. We were once the biggest producer of air conditioners, microchips, water coolers and the rest. And all of the electrical appliances, tires, and everything, and cars too. Not very big though. The next slide. All this led to our peak in about 96-97. In the year 1996, we had GDP growth of 8%, but some say 10%, by the old calculation. And employment about 2.5%, very low. Almost everybody was employed. We had savings rate of 38.5%, the second highest in the world after Singapore. We had literacy rate of 92%, which is good. We have fairly educated workforce. And the stock market was 806 billion ringgit. Okay? Now, how does this come about? First, like I said, it came about through years of planning before. Privatization and diversification. Next one, please. Okay. All these efforts we did in the 80s, 70s, 80s, 90s attracted a lot of FDIs. Why were we attracted then? First, we have a good economic planning. Second, political stability. Third, we have good infrastructure, or beginning to start good infrastructure. And we have cheap labor, and good workforce, cheap resources, and access to foreign exchange. Of course, the government helped a lot, all the planning on all the incentives. Okay. All this leads to one thing. We were a very attractive investment center. In fact, we're the best among the region. And Europe was in US was in recession after the Gulf War 1991. Okay, let's look at capital flows. In year 1995, we had 6.6 billion US in 1 year. Okay, whereas in 1990 was only 1.77. So yes, 1.98. Sorry. Okay, FDIs come in three forms. First, somebody overseas comes here and build a factory and create jobs. It's the brick and mortar type. Second, it comes in form of the Singaporean, some guys overseas buy a hotel and operate hotels here. They buy businesses here. And third, the good and bad, the portfolio capital. These are the guys who buy bonds and stocks in Malaysia. Okay? The issue of FDI, portfolio FDIs, is what some say created the crash the years after. Let's go through. Okay, the FDI in 1980 was 29% of the economy. But in 1995 was 44%. Almost half the economy was FDIs. So you can imagine where the money came from. Okay, next slide please. Okay, this is an interesting one. How good was it? I'm telling you, it was that good. Very good. Okay? In 1990, the market cap of Galaxy was only about 132 million, and the PE about 20 times. In the year 1996, it was 806 billion, and the PE went up to 26 times, which means you have earnings yield close about less than 4%. Okay. In the year 1990, we had 265 companies. In the year 1997, we had 708. Okay, this is the more interesting part. In the year 1990, the daily trading volume was $121 million. Ringgit. Okay? But in the boom time, everybody was punting. Your grandmother, mothers, uncles, everybody else. Nobody wants to work. Or less work, I mean. In the year 1996, it was 1.868 billion a day. This is average for the whole year. So you can imagine how much trading there was. Okay? Now, just to look in perspective, that trading on certain days was bigger than New York's. Can you imagine that? No, on certain days, almost about 20 days in a year, I think, was trading days, were bigger than New York, the biggest center in the world. And in 1996, we were the 11th largest stock market in the world. We were even bigger than Korea and bigger than Italy. So you can imagine how good it was. Very good, right? Okay, next slide please. Okay, we have the FDIs, the portfolio capital. It came in very big. The money went to the stock market, it went back to the bank. The bank had a lot of cash, they allowed the money. Of course, you go one side cycle, they put back the market, go back to the bank, they meet the reserve, and they allowed the money. Fine. So the bank loans were huge. Look at this. In 1991, the total bank loans were only 140 billion ringgit. In 1997 was 421 billion. In 6 years or 7 years, it almost went up 4 times. And since then, it's hovered around 400 million or 500 billion. So those were the good years. The bank had a lot of money, they had a lot to lend. They were, of course, a lot of people want to borrow. The FDIs came in, the stock market went up, so everyone was happy. Until somebody clever ones gave a warning, it's overheating. But nobody was prepared to listen. No? Why? It was too good.